An epic night in Los Angeles honoring what some believe to be one of the greatest basketball players of all time was almost ruined by the vice president of basketball operations for the Los Angeles Lakers, Magic Johnson, who butchered his intro speech. But the night survived thanks to Jeannie Buss and Kobe. Here's the question, guys. I'll start with you, Kelcey. Which jersey number had a greater legacy for you? The number 8 or the number 24?
This one's not even really a question for me, and I know that it's a big debate everywhere else in the entire world. But
you're smarter and better than everybody else, so you're going to demean the question. That's cool.
Or I'm just more opinionated, I guess. But I think 24, like, hands down, it has the better legacy. And I know when you look at stats in the columns, 8 wins some, 24 wins some. But I feel like 8, he was more of like, for some of it, he was more of like the Robin to the Batman. And I feel like 24, he was like Batman.
Okay. Well.
You know, I'm going to be partial to 8 because for a little while he was halfway a good teammate. And I'll say that either one you choose, you can't really lose. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, like Jeannie Buss said, if you choose whether 8 or 24. I just felt like in his early part of his career, you could see the hunger. You could see there was a different type of Kobe before the whole Shaq breakup and everything. And I was more in tune with that guy who was willing to take all those air balls in the Utah series and still come back. So for me, I think that showed me a lot more about who Kobe Bryant was.
I think it's 24 because for as many years as he played in the NBA, he was still pretty damn dominant in that number up until the very end. His playoff numbers at 24 were like 30 points a game. He was better defensively, and he had those puppet commercials with LeBron when he was number 24. And that to me says something.
He wasn't a rapper then, so that was nice too.
And that was
nothing will ever.
That's a great point.
Don't violate.
No, you're out. You're out. Cut immediately.
Nothing will ever replace 4 airball Kobe. Number 8, the kid that had the whole world questioning him. That's my Kobe.
What Kobe wore the white garb there?
That was 24.
What do you want? I might have to change my answer then.
Oh, white thing.
That was bad.
That Django Unchained outfit.
That was 24, Kobe. But now let's another number that we want to get out of you guys is where do you rank Kobe in terms of all-time greats in the game of ballon panier? That's French for basketball. For those of you that
Canada.
No clue what I'm saying right now. You're looking at me like crazy. Kelcey?
I feel like you guys might hate me, but I'm nervous to say it, but I put him like cusp top 10.
Cusp?
Cusp.
I don't think that's a controversial.
Okay.
No, that's the thing, though, because I know Akil was going to say that because I know he likes Kobe, but I also don't think saying someone
I mean, like in Kobe, I mean knowing basketball, but go on. Ooh. I want to hear this. Cusp
you
top
played
10.
at university.
But no, tell me about this cusp. Who are the 10 others? I want this right now.
You want the list?
I want the list. If you're going to put them on 10.
I think MJ. Oscar Robertson. Shaq. Magic.
Okay, we're done.
That's a lot of heat.
Okay, anyone else? Okay.
Will Chamberlain.
That's a lot of heat.
I'm naming 10. I'm not saying like
Magic said Kobe's better than him.
Yeah, but Magic had to say that because they were celebrating the guy at his night,
Wait a minute, come on, man.
He's not going to say, oh, I'm better than you.
Yeah. Akil, can we be honest? That's professional courtesy. On his night, he's not going to go out there and say, you know what?
Yeah.
Kobe was great, but I'm the GOAT. Come on, man. You might do that.
I come from the school of Michael Jordan.
Jersey.
Kobe comes from the school of Michael Jordan. We don't do that. We don't do that. Okay.
Listen.
I respect your opinion. You're allowed to have your opinion. 10. I think that's ridiculous.
No. Like 9,
11.
like 8 to 11.
Right. Faizal.
Yeah, I'm somewhere around there too.
Okay, all right. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Okay, Will.
I'm in that same range.
Oh my
goodness.
How is he 10? He's the second best basketball player of all time.
I think he's the second best shooting guard.
You mean who missed the most shots in NBA history?
Does that matter?
Yes.
Greatness is. Listen. What did Michael Jordan say about failure? What did he say
That's
about
a lot of failure, my dude. But I'm not knocking him because he won titles with Shaq. No.
You're knocking him.
And I guarantee you, he won titles with Shaq. He was Sasha Vucic's free throw away from losing another final against Boston. But we can do this all day. I'm not going to do that. We're here to celebrate Caesar, not to put him in the ground. And Kobe Bryant was Caesar in LA for that time. So respect due to the. I won't call him.
And he's a legend.
Almost called him that.
Almost respecting Kobe Bryant.
You know what's the silver lining to this whole conversation? Next week we get 3 new guests. So it's a beautiful thing.
We're never coming back.
So
We're done.
Let's talk about something not completely different, but a little bit different now. Kobe Bryant did have a phase, an era in his career where he wasn't the most popular person, and it came along with the situation in Colorado and the rape allegations. The only reason we bring this up is not to dampen the celebration of Kobe, but this conversation's come a very long way in terms of women's rights and the way we treat those kinds of things now. Talk about Kevin Spacey, we're talking about Harvey Weinstein. How do you think the perception of Kobe Bryant would change if these allegations were to come to light in this social media type era? Kelcey, I'll start with you.
I think completely different. And not to say he didn't take flack back then. He did. Like, he was put through the ringer a little bit, but then he came back as Kobe, a great basketball player, and people kind of forgot about it as time went on. And then he went on his farewell tour, and life was good, and now he's like a legend again. And I think if that happened now with this whole Me Too and with
he'd be buried.
I think he would, and I think his reputation would be way more tarnished.
I disagree with the buried part, only because he is a professional athlete. And if you look, Greg Hardy got multiple chances. You look at all the guys who have done things.
Tiger Woods
is about to get. I mean, Tiger Woods. He lost his game, but he's still Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
He's got endorsements back and everything else.
But with the Me Too
but
thing,
I think the Greg Hardy thing was still on the cut, like right before the cusp of all of this happened, right?
All I'm saying is,
we saw Cam Newton berate a female reporter, and he lost sponsors like that. And that was
just
the biggest indictment
words
to Kobe because the financial hit that he would take as a result of everything that happened. On top of the social backlash.
Nike had his back right after.
They dropped Manny Pacquiao for statements against homophobic statements. So when you look at the climate we're in today under Donald J. Trump, and how we deal with that, in the social world, Kobe would get buried, but I don't think it's the same because of he's not the 10th guy on the bench. He's the guy. So those guys get a break. Unfortunately, that's just the way the world works right now. I think he would get his vitriol, but I don't think it will be the same.
I think it would be way more tarnished than you're giving credit for.
Well,
Me Too is, Time People of the Year. Like, it's so much bigger than anything. I think if they were if this happened like last week, and the Lakers were like, "Okay, we're retiring both his jerseys," I think there would be a lot of backlash.
Yeah, that ceremony might get canceled.
Yeah,
At least 8.
Yeah. That would get canceled for sure.
One half of the ceremony might just.
Hey, well, I'm thankful that that's not the case, but it's important that we have that conversation, just knowing that this is something we didn't get a lot of chances to talk about on this show, and it's a situation that's moving forward, and I think it's improving our society, so I'm glad we can talk about that. We have more to talk about when we return on Canada's Home for Talking Hoops.